more of a Wild West show back in the 80s, no doubt about that. Coach, shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer. You want to let me finish here for a second, pal?
Here's the kind of football that the NFL used to be. Where's my smash mouth wide open football? We will take you places where the NFL is afraid to take you. Because quite frankly, we're not afraid of anything. May I never be ever thought of as legit.
In terms of cocaine, there was quite a bit of that. Why don't you ask yourself that question? And you've got that look on your face. I would accept no responsibility whatsoever for their untimely deaths. Are you indicating that's my responsibility? These people are dead? If you can't cut it, get out. Get out. Get out.
All right, Workers Club 154. Larry and Gus and Wilson. Awesome. No news. Anybody want to vent about anything?
We want to get into the Observer year-end shit, or are we not that
No, I was going to say, no, yeah, I did actually have a thought about that. Remember when the fuck ice chance thing was top of mind?
Remember we beat everyone to it? Well, you beat everyone to it by a day. Let the record show.
I didn't really hear Russo or Bischoff or too many people talk about it. Even Dave, I think, has said on his show now at this point, they just want to get like too political about things or da-da-da-da-da.
Dave's got a big first responder audience.
Yeah. But then cut to a week later, the Observer Awards are out, and nobody can shut the fuck up about dumb reader awards.
Are you saying that the words were worked to take the topic off of
Dave, I was like, I gotta get these out. Calculating, tabulating. I don't know. Not that I want to hear or care about Eric Bischoff's opinion. It's just very like that's something like worth talking about or about the fandom.
You don't know what their opinion is, though.
And we talk about fucking the readers of the Observer think Booker T.
You want them to defend the opinion of like 98% of America? No, I'm not trying to be a dick about it though. Like that's.
I think everybody is on board with the fuck ice. I think that's if you were to look at it, I think most people are in favor of getting rid of it.
I wonder what the poll. What does it? We need a person that does our polling. We need a
Gallup
pollster.
I think that's maybe why you don't hear. I mean, not that they talk about that stuff in general, but I feel like Eric Bishop possibly goes against the grain. Russo definitely, probably. I'd spend way too much time thinking about Russo's political opinions, trying to crack that nut.
I think he's mildly conservative.
Yeah, I'd say mildly.
Bro, we need God in the classroom.
Is he worried about girls playing boys sports? How far does it go? I worked with, what was that one gal's name? He thinks that she was trans.
Oh no, who?
No, what was the gal?
Oh, did I just like out myself in that one?
No, she was on Stern.
Oh, which one you say?
Nicole Bass.
Yeah, Nicole Bass.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I guess, didn't he say that about? Yeah, he said that in the last book about Joni Laurer. He was like, "Bro, I gotta tell you. You don't have to tell me. I thought she was a man." Okay.
I don't know.
Good.
I'm watching 97. She just looks like a fucking badass. Is what she looks like. I think it's just women that Vinny Rue can't handle.
I mean, fanning himself with the script when Sable walks through the hallway. I'm gonna. Larry's going to a JCW show.
I think that's the only thing holding me together. It's just very vague. It just says, Kennedy, James Storm, Vince Russo. I'm sure it'll be the normal.
JCW champion, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Anderson.
Have you been keeping up with the week to week?
I scanned through last week's very briefly. It's Kennedy versus Russo. Kennedy's Stone Cold, and Caleb Connolly is going to be the chosen one. So we're finally going to get that Jeff Jarrett, Steve Austin feud that Russo wanted.
Lovely.
But yeah, I don't.
It's all just a script, man. They're just actors. You could just plug in anybody.
Sure.
Well-written story. You guys were talking about it with your cinema talk. I'm not up on it, but you're saying with the Godfather, the famous guy that anybody could have fucking done it and it would have been fine. Was that what I was reading?
I mean, yeah.
Was that a lot to make everyone defend?
Well, but it's like doing a remake of a movie with terrible people replacing the originals. That's what this would be. Right? It'd be like doing a remake of, well, let's see, I don't know. I'm too high to get into the time periods of what a good analogy would be, but yeah.
Well, you lose me at Caleb. You're trying to find a parallel to Caleb Conway. Oh, what the fuck?
Right. Pauly Shore.
You're replacing, and then what would Double J be? Oh, okay, let's do this. So
if it was, hang on. Let's say we're going to recreate Face Off, because that's about time period wise.
Wow. Okay.
So who are we replacing in those roles that are now Caleb Connolly?
That are equivalent?
Kennedy.
You mean replacing like John Travolta and Nicolas Cage? Who would I get now?
Timothy Chalamet.
Who would I want? Yeah, who do I want?
Shia LaBeouf and
did you see that footage? Getting slapped around.
J.K. Simmons.
Michael B. Jordan.
No, who?
Michael B. Jordan's good though.
I know. Why can't I put
Nicolas Cage is good.
Well, because I'm making the analogy that's
okay. I'm
Caleb
sorry.
Connolly and Kennedy would be like doing a terrible remake of Stone Cold.
Okay.
Jarrett. I know this is belabored.
Okay.
I'm not.
That was my bad.
Did you see the footage of Shia LaBeouf getting slapped around?
I did. I liked it, especially because I just watched that Megalopolis documentary.
I did see someone say, "Oh, they must have seen the Mega Doc."
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a lot of people's thing is be like, I've just been spending too much time reading the files, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Didn't we just talk about that?
I'm too in the soup. I'm pretending I'm not, but I'm also way too in the soup. So
we're not gonna get into it.
What's the problem? I don't understand why you guys are upset, or even in this. What's the problem? That the country is run by a ring of pedophiles, and that there seems to be no justice coming towards them.
Yeah, the country.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was couching it a little bit.
And this is a recent development?
Yeah, that is not. Look, it's just out in the open. You put, what is it, the old saying? You put it in the sunlight, and it doesn't matter.
It's hurting the mind that everything is up for questioning, and for people that have multi-threaded minds, it's exhausting.
Just pay your taxes. What's the problem? Just pay your taxes.
Oh, I got a file.
Go to work. Go see Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, I know. That's what I got.
They're on some video games.
I might disrupt some political rallies this year. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm
just
a big fan.
Thrown out of one. I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? I just want to yell something.
If I can recommend a YouTube channel, a great YouTube channel is Professional Douche.
Okay, I follow some great trolls.
Yeah, he's a good one. He just recently went up to.
I feel like our generation grew up in the era of trolls. I mean, not to be like whippersnappers or gatekeeping, but we had Jerky Boys. We had but like Jackass, Pranks. I mean, what else is out there?
Tom Green, our nation turns
Yeah.
its lonely eyes to you. Where are you, Tom Green?
Wilson criticized me for using the term flamed.
I love it. I have not heard that in
Criticize
so
you.
long. You could still use that, man.
You use that?
The flame
Yeah,
war.
but you were doing your
So, yeah.
flipping your wrist.
No.
No.
Can't do that. You can say flame, but you can't snap your wrist like that.
Correct.
Let's see. No, everything. Should we do some like John Krasinski? Some good news? Is there anything good happening in the world?
Man, what was up with that transaction? Who was the buying
Don't
party?
worry about it. I think what was it? Paramount or was it CBS or CBS? I think bought it for $30 million or some such ridiculous number. Larry, are you familiar with some good news?
No.
The negotiations take place in New Mexico.
It was during the pandemic.
This fuck.
And,
This fucking
Jim
asshole.
from The Office would sit in his house and basically show like YouTube clips of like animals or some such thing and highlight different like little feel good stories as here's some good news. And then CBS, I believe, I don't know, some network bought the rights to the premise. And Krasinski was not going to do it on network TV, and then nothing happened. He just got the check.
I see.
Man, his horror movie too is mid as hell. I was not a fan of that franchise. I don't know if that's a controversial thing, but
Now, who would we replace John Krasinski with in that movie? It was.
Ooh, let's see.
Who's the new Jim?
Well, it could be also. It doesn't have to be even a gym person. Does it have to be a gym level?
I think so.
Okay, let me think.
I can't even. Think of
What happens if I cast Kramer and they would go a little?
Well, we're going backwards.
Like, it's so hard for him to not make noise because he's like tripping over everything.
Yeah,
And
I like that. Or Jerry Seinfeld. And when he sees an underage girl with a big rack, he goes, "Oh, he can awooga awooga," and then the aliens hear him.
Oh my god, I hate everything.
Oh, sorry, did I bring it back?
Everything goes back, man. Who we cast in?
Do we have anything else? No news, no nothing really. Guess the
What
wrestling
if you
fandom.
took Marty Supreme and you replaced Chalamet with a talented actor?
No, come
and
on.
had a story and a better director.
No, don't be. What are you talking about? We're talking
Then it
best
would be
picture,
good.
baby.
Sorry.
Best actor, best
Bring that up
picture.
before we went on. Okay. No.
Come on. Now we have to do a watch along, and then I'll be weeping at the end. Like
I
did
tried.
in the
I
theater.
tried. and it was
Oh, come
awful.
on. No, it's good.
You're choosing to watch Kevin O'Leary attempt to act.
Kevin Leary is perfect in that movie, and I don't know who he cast.
Terrible.
You have to
He's not
cast
even
him.
good in like a like a Dice Clay and Blue Jasmine sort of way. He's awful.
No.
And Chalamet can't do an accent.
He's not doing.
He's doing
an accent.
American accent.
What are you talking?
Which isn't
about?
an
He's just
accent.
doing- He's just
Everyone
doing
else has a
himself.
New York accent.
He's not from New
Isn't he
York, I don't think. No, he's not French. He's just a guy. He's just Maori Mauser.
Yeah, he doesn't fit.
You're insane. You're insane. That's an instant American classic there,
I
Marty
have people that
Supreme.
agree with me who I hold their opinions
Who?
in high regard.
Who?
Nobody you know.
Don't say Carrie.
No. That's not her.
Whoa,
The guy huffing the exhaust pipe at work.
All right, let's go.
All right. Where were we? Let me get the book.
This guy's getting out of control. If I could just give a general synopsis of this section. I mean, first paragraph, he's out the gates on fire with just like I've said before, people think I'm smug, and I like high-minded things, and I kind of poo-poo at people who like take joy in stupid pleasures like NASCAR or lighting off fireworks. I have nothing on Brett Forrest and his opinion of wrestling fans.
How do we feel about an author? I think I maybe have asked this last week, but like, I don't know how I feel about an author being like that, man. Like,
yeah, it does kind of tinge it with
unless the subject matter is like a real like entity of evil, but
yeah. This is just
it's a football league. How much did this really disrupt your or anybody's life? Like,
it ruins the culture.
Did we? Where did we leave off? What chapter?
Chapter 3.
We're on chapter 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Just like the XFL, we're
okay. So. Yes, I don't. Well, Larry, then maybe you can speak on it because I don't have anything really of note as he starts chapter 3.
Well, yeah, I know. He's just kind of describing things. They've sold out Sam Boyd Stadium, blah blah blah. Well, come on, this writing though. So, Sam Boyd Stadium's dusty parking lot began filling with RVs and SUVs. The stench of charred meat sliced the air.
Yeah.
The flesh eaters had arrived, eager for the kind of barbarism depicted in a hyperbolic TV ad that showed a wrecking ball clobbering an XFL player.
Yes.
The curiosity of violence and the Mondo life combined to shutter the ticket windows. All 30,000 seats were bought and paid for. And then, next paragraph. No, I love it.
Go keep
Sam
going.
Boyd Stadium couldn't fit another backward-capped Napster disciple or twitching grocery mart video poker addict. Fuck, man.
Imagine if, God, never mind. I'm not going to tie it to current events, but like the passion this man has towards the XFL, there are subjects that are much more worthy of that energy. That
we've kind of touched on that. The media there isn't much that there's derision for anymore. Everyone's kind of like happy to lap it all up and kind of put some kind of polished sheen on it. I'm trying to think of anything. I mean, even wrestling is on ESPN, and they kind of like giggle about it or chuckle about it or roll their eyes. But
mainstream publications run news stories about influencers.
Yeah,
so there is
really. Everything's pretty widely accepted. Reality TV. I mean, yeah, there was this little brief moment where anything. I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Even some sitcoms were kind of like, ugh. Slob husband, pretty wife, that's especially when it was kind of prestige TV was at its height.
Yeah.
But how would you feel if one of those came back?
Like an Everybody Loves Raymond or like a King of Queens.
Yeah.
But we replace him with Bert Kreischer and Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they haven't given it a go. Why not? You can't have a show named Bert where he's there, with his shirt off, being a jackass. That hasn't been pitched. That's not the go. There's
who he cast as the husband is Chris Chan.
He popped up again.
He's on a redemption arc, apparently. He's cut some weight. Otaku should take some notes.
Otaku wish he kind of had the name recognition of a Chris Chan.
I don't know.
Yeah. See, I don't even
might have more views when his stuff drops. It's
he's in the low hundreds these days.
Oh wow, he's okay.
I've managed to stay ignorant to Chris Chan. I know the name, but I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's about as much as I know. I see like just enough. It's like I occasionally walk by the store.
Well, he was in jail
for things.
For doing something to his caretaker, which was his grandmother, I believe. So I have here Vince McMahon shared more with the hoods who built Vegas.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn right.
than he did with the Disneyites who bought a few lots. I think that plays into what we said about Vince vis-a-vis Epstein.
Yeah.
Vince being a normal dude.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that Epstein had tickets to Saudi Arabia, the Raw at Saudi Arabia. You think he would have set up a meeting with Vince if he went?
No, Vince is. If anything, it would have been one of the
He's in the room when the prince meets with Vince.
Mohammed bin Saleh, blah, blah, blah. Go fuck yourselves. You guys did 9/11. Fuck ice.
Vince is walking through Sam Boyd wearing reading glasses and carrying a yellow legal pad. You bet he is wearing reading glasses, and they're at the tip of his nose.
Remember when actually I think they might want to, because that's also the other thing though. Vince negotiated those motherfuckers to the brink. Remember the plane on the runway?
Yeah.
There was a legitimate multi-nation international hostage situation that Vince McMahon was a part of.
No,
That's
there
correct
wasn't.
based on the
Service
information we
wrong.
know, correct? Is that like
Yeah.
overstating it?
No, you're correct. There was damage control done, but
Do you think Epstein was in the room with the negotiations on the other side?
I'm not sure what that year was, but I don't
was
know.
black.
But I'm just
he was blackmailing both sides.
don't fuck with Vince is what that whole situation told me though. Like that's come on.
Yeah.
NBC's Ken Schanzer is worried, and Vince McMahon looks to him and says, "Look, we'll do it this way, and if it doesn't work, we'll change it. Because we can change it."
That's my general attitude towards work.
Yeah.
I like that McMahon guarded his inner child with litigious fists. He grew up in a double wide, then found himself extra large.
Yes, there's a lot of little things here where I was like, I wrote at one point, who are you writing this for, Brett? Who's picking up the XFL book? Some of these he's referencing like
His fucking ego.
like a dance. What was it? The in Paris, some kind of old building from the 1800s.
Oh, why does he say nascence in the next paragraph?
Oh man, Ken Chesner. That's a fella.
What are you, pretentious?
Sure, that's a word you could use.
Ken Schnanzer, he wants to get things right the first time. He thinks that's important. And he says, Vince, I know that. I know we can do that. But my view is that we have one half of football. If we don't grab them in the first half, I think we're done. If we have one good half, we'll live to see a second half. So he has a bet with XFL president, I always forget, Basil DeVito, that the game one's rating will be double the 4.5 that they hoped for. He said it would top an 8. And they bet a futures bet on the Kentucky Derby. So they're putting it down the line. Okay. Dick Ebersol's relaxed. The artistic control is for McMahon. Ebersol is smoking a cigar with Jesse Ventura. He doesn't care. Rod Smart is heading to... What's that?
Sorry. My audio cut out. I couldn't hear you. I had to do a restart.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're right. Rod Smart's heading towards... first we get a little Rod Smart bio.
Remember last week he was macking out a bunch of babes by the pool, we learned.
Yep. He is in the Chargers training camp. He finished college in 2000. He made it to the last cut with the Chargers training camp. He grew up in Lakeland, Florida. He went to Western Kentucky University. Anywho, some guy runs out. Ben Snell runs out of the locker room to Rod Smart and goes, "Yo, that shit is tight." And Brett begins to do the thing that we talk about a lot. Rod Smart says, "What you mean?" They got our nicknames on our jerseys. Not me. I got smart. Go take a look. Smart was confused. So there he is, number 30. But something else is on his name.
I don't. I was going to say something.
He joins Snell in uncontrollable laughter.
Well, I was just going to say he writes like Sean wrote Larry the Can Man.
Yes. Stephen King utilizes it. They can't help themselves. They have to. I know there's a word for it. Mark Twain utilized it quite a bit.
Well, we didn't bring up Kevin Nash, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What was the Nash thing?
This week?
Yeah.
The news? The thing he said about Javon Evans?
Oh, he's too Mr. Bojangles.
He needs him to be more urban, Nash said.
Okay, what is that? What does that mean? What's urban?
I don't know. That's what we're.
Do you want them to be like in
like
an
if
urban
you-
desert and not have access to fresh produce and
I feel like even
was
now,
access to
It was a
food.
rare misstep for a centrist Democrat. I'll just say that.
Well,
No.
Nash had the FUBU. He was
even now, if you ask Nash if what he meant by more urban, he'd be like, he'd do that. You could see him on camera. He'd go, "Yeah, from the streets," and he'd think he's smirking. He thinks he's funny.
It's not how guys talk on the corner of 9 Mile Road and Woodward.
Is that where the JCW show is?
Actually, that area is kind of nice now. It's come back a little bit.
Okay.
It was an application form posted on XFL.com during the recruiting process. Do you wear glasses? This application asked. Do you have an agent? Do you consider your speed to be great, good, average, or slow? 40,000 people went out for 400 spots. We get the list of the awful XFL football team names. Let's see. Brett thinks they sound like comic book characters who tried a little too hard. He brings up, some of their gets. We got Heisman Trophy winner Rashaan Salam.
Hell yeah.
14 former NFL first-round picks. Mike Keller, the league's vice president of football operations, says that the worst team in the XFL could beat the hell out of a CFL team, and our worst team could beat the best college team, and our best team would be able to compete with a lower 20% of the NFL. Which is like, that...
It's a lot of what is, maybes, possibilities.
These weren't schlubs, says Brett. And here Brett gets to go in on reality TV again. These aren't Survivor rejects. They're not. In our culture of being instead of doing, Survivor contestants were famous for simply existing like child monarchs. I think this guy hasn't watched a season of Survivor. There's a lot going on in that show. They're not just existing. They're scheming.
When was the last time like a celebrity came from Survivor?
It seems to be totally irrelevant now.
Or like almost any
still,
reality show for that matter. Like I don't even like any of the music or talent shows. I couldn't even tell you the names of them these days.
This is also like Survivor has just come out. It got like, what was it? Like 50 million people were watching the season finale.
It's very.
Who are these people?
It was.
Am I just not hip to the culture?
It still is I want to say it's a fun, but it's got a
yeah.
hardcore fan base for sure. I mean, they're on season 50 now. They do 2 a year.
Okay.
I would say it's just more of a like now the whole reality TV industry. It's like they all bounce around to the different shows. So Survivor people go on Traders, and
But see, Survivor had its real world moment. To where, remember, Puck was like the first self-aware character. Where like, I know I'm on this show and I'm just going to be a character. The Survivor guy playing everybody and being like a conniving guy. That was like the first time people saw that, right? So it was
like
pretty-
Richard. Yeah, well,
Richard.
yeah, because there have been real world. Man, I get annoyed as a person of that time when somebody goes, reality TV had just never been heard of before. It's like real world had already been on the air for a few years. Come on, what are we doing?
And I'm
I
sure
know.
there's probably been several examples that predate that, right?
Yeah, like document. Oh, I'm a big, granted, it's not a TV show, but the 7 Up series. You guys familiar with that?
What's up?
Michael Apted, who's no longer with us, was a director in the UK, and he filmed. This would have been, I want to say in the 50s, maybe. He filmed 7-year-olds, and he was like, "I'm going to follow these children every 7 years."
Okay,
Oh, so it's
isolate.
So it's 7 Up, and then it's 14 and up, and then 20 and and they were going to do one more because he passed away in between this last chunk. And I mean, some of them are dead now. I mean,
That seems like that'd be very emotionally devastating. I'd have a hard time watching that.
it was sad. The one,
I don't think there's a lot of happy endings in life.
You watch one guy kind of go through drug addiction and all that, and he's homeless when they come at one point when they come to him, and then he pulls himself up and he becomes like a community organizer the next time they check in, and the next time he's got his life together, and and another guy that was like adopted, and then he grows on to have a loving family. And
So Linklater stole this idea?
with Boyhood, probably a little bit. I mean, the idea of filming the same people at the time, yeah. Other countries have tried to do it to you got to keep up with it and have a hunger for it. The UK, it's really big over there. But yes, it was sad when I think the last one, and the one guy was he was terminally ill, and it was and he was like, "I'm not going to be at the next one," but I've enjoyed this, you documenting my life.
I wonder if there's some propaganda way these lives are being influenced where they are more likely to be put in positions to succeed rather than the average citizen.
That was part of it too, covering
Or is it
class.
just my life that's been a downward tragedy?
No, they do touch on class in the UK. There's the kids that are a little bit more well off in the schools they end up going to, and one guy becomes a politician, and it's kind of they ask him do you feel like you had a leg up? You know what I mean? This classmate of yours, works at the Quickie Mart, but you guys got the you had more opportunities presented to you. And then there's one kid who was one of the poorer kids. He turned the whole being on this documentary every 7 years into he's a little celebrity, a minor. So he'd get little TV roles out of it, outside of being a cab driver. So that's fun. Good stuff. Check it out. The 7 Up series. Let's see. Deeds the level of a ditch. I don't know. Brett's he does this a lot. He starts taking jabs at what he considers low culture. No one ever sees what happens to the college football star who disappears. Well, we're about to find out with the XFL. The men who populated the XFL were the disappeared. Let's see. He calls them nobodies. Their stories multiplied and overlapped in such a way as to become typical and mundane. This is where I wrote, how they wanted to do I think maybe we talked about this last week. They wanted to do the cheerleaders dating the players.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that once, I think, where you cut to the gal. She's worried. She's concerned. Her man's injured or losing the game or winning. You can do that.
There's a finite amount of relationship football intersecting storylines that can be ran.
And we'll get to it later, but Vince clearly, he wants storylines, even though those just happen in sports. You just let it play out. But he wants some manufactured storylines. He wants get into it later. The coach Tillman and Ventura to be a thing.
That was stupid. Yeah.
Let's see.
And it was pretty much Tillman that just wasn't taking the bait, right? He's like, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm not
they
gonna play this up.
Yeah, he starts getting. They were banking on Tillman being the coach that they would see on TV, where he's kind of hot to trot, throwing things, kicking things, and because he wants to be back on a pro roster, he's being very well behaved and not playing his role.
Yeah.
It's disappointing that they didn't stick around for 4 or 5 years. Imagine if we got more like disgraced coaches or players that would have filtered through, like the fucking Urban Meyers of the world, like
We would have got Josh Gordon.
Gruden's. Yeah.
It's funny is the challenge, talking about reality TV and stuff. The challenge is always like number one, and it's night when it's on the air. It's usually on Wednesdays, and that's essentially it was real world road rules people, and then they stopped doing real world and road rules. So then it became other reality stars they would grab. And essentially
is that how they do it now?
Yeah, they grab other reality stars
Outside,
now.
buddy.
I'm used to the days when Theo Vaughn was on Road
Right.
Rules Challenge.
Now they just grab, and also it just becomes a lot of it's just their job. Once a year they have to do this thing where the challenges are insane, like physical challenges, grueling challenges, all for a little bit of money, I guess. But it's always very like if the XFL would have stayed around, give it a couple more years, and people saw that they were on TV or going to stay on TV, you probably get like what would be like a Mike Mizanin type or somebody trying to get on TV, who could maybe give you that reality TV personality on a team. And
Johnny Football would have been tailor made for the XFL. My God.
Now Johnny Bananas, but Johnny Football.
And then imagine like Tim Tebow like having to like work under like a super unethical coach. Like the storylines just like are so good.
You could do a reality / kind of sports league,
I think it would just naturally play out for the it's just you gotta keep going and make yourself viable enough.
That's what sucked about the second one is you're naming all these great ideas, and the second one was that bullshit of we're not going to sign anybody who's ever been arrested.
Come on, man.
No,
imagine if they didn't sign anybody that should be arrested.
Yeah, we talked about it, the XFL thing. It just was too soon. Like they didn't have that roadmap where they could have pointed to like a challenge, or like the challenge was around in some kind of form, but not the way it is now, where it's like they know exactly what they're doing. And let's see. So let's talk about the guys getting ready for the game. The Outlaws, the Las Vegas Outlaws, are getting. They're stretching too, but you know what else they're doing? They're swallowing pills.
Oh yeah.
Percocet to numb the coming pain. Speed for revving up. Inhalers filled with any number of concoctions for general eye-popping effect.
I wish we had like an 80s like rock, like Harley guitar.
Montage.
Yeah. Vroom vroom.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. When are we going to get our first full AI wrestling match?
That's going to look like shit.
Of course it
Now,
is.
how AI do you want to be?
It's an entire match.
Are you talking
AI.
video or are you talking just...
Video.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Chris.
That'll
Benoit,
be
by the way,
well, come on. Darren Aronofsky obviously has now the AI cred and made the wrestler. Let him do it.
No, it's going to be some mutant that does Chris Benoit and like somebody he's never wrestled
That's what
before.
somebody on Twitter had said, that
Chris
they were,
Benoit versus Mr. Iguana.
Yeah, theorizing that you'll be able to like select dream matches or something.
It should be commentated by the best commentator in the business, Booker T.
I want Londos versus Cena
I love it. That's
in that outdoor Greece stadium that he drew that crowd.
Cena and the jorts applying the STF.
What about Cena versus Toots
And all the
Monk?
Greek people are. Remember, Toots was a comedy guy. Give me Toots versus Toriano.
like that one match we saw that was like outside, essentially like a park rest area, you know, some trees, a couple 10, 15 people standing around. Let's see.
What a legend.
Of course, you got to get a guy that's just like when he's talking about they're huffing on their inhalers. You got to have somebody go, and they don't have asthma. Got it. Where are the cameras? Remember the all-access cameras? Where are they? All these guys are doing drugs in the locker room. Well, they're not filming that. Brett, make sure to add that. XFL players. Remember all the drug questions at the press conference? Okay, and Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire subsisted on meat and potatoes. Oh.
You sanctimonious piece of shit. I didn't buy this book for like a moral
Oh, you don't get it,
right? That's not what this was advertised as. So what's going on, bud?
I guess this book was written for my dad to read on an airplane and be like, I knew this was bullshit.
Okay, you just hit on it. My dad would love to read something that's condescending about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this would be in a Hudson.
I mean, he couldn't get past. Yeah, he couldn't get past 2 pages of McFoley's book because he said he didn't respect him for hurting himself.
And you know what else the cameras weren't filming? Rod Smart. He hate me. And his locker room routine was to strip buck naked. And he put on his brand new jersey. And he also put on a pair of sneakers. And then he hung upside down from his locker. His unit, this is a quote from Brett, his unit dangling toward the floor. I like this. A few teammates yelled at him, others just ignored it. Some had seen Smart's act before. This is how he got jacked up in practice. Later, he put his jock strap on backwards and asked the trainer to tape his groin.
God, I'm sorry, I'm simple.
Yeah, to be clear, I like guys like this. I'm on Rod.
What was this guy's experience in the locker room growing up?
Well, I was just going to say this is not that far removed from hockey, from what we used to do.
Yeah, not to I'm sure whatever, people have had bad experiences. Fuck Jerry Sandusky.
Oh, listen, first of all, at this level, it's ridiculous, and I wouldn't advocate it.
But how is he shocked by this? You're not writing some big expose. This isn't,
Yeah.
This is why my dad asked me,
guys snapping towels.
How did I get a C in weight training? And I was like, I spent too much time doing bits. Let's see. Later, okay, so defensive Kelvin Kinney is singing in falsetto loudly. Pat Kesey? He's throwing up. It's the usual, some guys are throwing up, some guys are singing, one guy's walking around with his jock strap on backwards. It's the XFL. And let's see, Jesse Ventura's in the booth with Matt Vesger. Oh man, you told me last week. Vasgersian, a nasal voiced 33-year-old with dark bristling hair.
Sooty?
Okay. Yeah. Well, hair.
Oh, come on.
Let's see. He was no WWF shill. They said he got Matt on Ebersol hinted at more work with NBC down the road. Then we got Jerry Lawler on color commentary duties on the secondary game. That I wrote. It is insane that they were like, who do we have
Well, he
remember feeling real like that delegitimized it.
Jerry Lawler is going to call a football game. Okay.
Now, was it them just like being cheap? Them actually thinking his network experience was worth something, or just real professionals, even semi-professionals, not wanting to touch it with like any sort of?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a kind of we really couldn't get a guy.
Was everyone like so afraid that that's like blackball them from ever getting a like NFL level job that?
It couldn't have been that bad. Yeah, they could have gotten again a level of guy I just talked about. Right? How many of those are there? Dozens?
Sudi.
Yeah, I think they just wanted
the guy I just talked about. You mean Sudi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? There's a bunch of local. I know.
Yeah, Sudi would have jumped. Yeah, Lawler. Oh man, I feel like it was just Vince
like
being
top a rating. Maybe that's it. Like,
yeah,
he gets so much ratings
cheap.
on.
In Vince's mind,
it's USA Today and talks about puppies.
Yeah, in Vince's mind, we're the number one show on TV of that night, so that means he's a ratings and he's cheap, and he's already in house.
I was about to question Lawler's credentials, but I forgot he's a fucking freak who likes the Browns and the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
What does he think about the Epstein files?
Why doesn't he like basketball?
Yeah,
you never see him in Grizzlies gears. What's the deal, Jer?
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
My grandmother used to call him Shrill. Let's see. Brett has to do the thing where he talks about Lawler's background. He brings up the Andy Kaufman thing, and he writes, and though no one knew it at the time, Kaufman and Lawler were in cahoots all along. Okay. Brett thinks it's real. Now, what are Jesse Ventura's bona fides? Well, Ventura had spent 2 seasons as a radio analyst for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like that he writes all these bona fides out. And did Jesse bring any of these to the table? Jesse just went kind of heel commentator.
When he was watching the game?
Yeah. I don't recall him offering any kind of real analysis or...
I watched our first game. But he's not being a heel in that first game. It's brutally boring. There's just nothing to say because there's no stories. You don't know the players. The game isn't very exciting. It was hard to get through.
Ventura wasn't out on the field talking to the players, getting some background.
No, no.
Getting some writing down little anecdotes to say. Look there's his dad in the field watching. They were in this stadium 10 years ago.
You would have had to find a way to get like at least 50 big names, whether ex guys or like really, really hot college guys. But I don't know how you do it. I really don't know.
So Ventura, radio analyst for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then he was a radio analyst for the Minnesota Vikings radio team. He did Minneapolis Sport Radio Talk Show. He was an assistant football coach at a high school in Minnesota. I think we know what high school, right? I think we know. He doesn't put it out, but I think it's probably his alma mater, correct?
The Teddies, right? The Teddies. Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
He also played for
your big shtick.
He also played for North Hennepin Community College in Minnesota. He wasn't very good, Brett writes.
Oh, come on, Brett. How many downs did you play, Brett?
How
many snaps did you take, Brett?
Did you know this about Jesse? Yeah, he would pull off his helmet after every tackle and wave to the crowd.
Hell yeah, brother.
Where is that story sourced from?
I don't know.
I call bullshit.
I don't know. You feel like the coach would be like, after the first or even the second time, like maybe we got to get back. We got to keep doing what we're doing. Why is Jesse stopping? Delay of game again. Ventura keeps walking off to wave to everyone, taking off his helmet.
Or it's just Jesse kayfabing in an interview, like, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't make the NFL because I was always showboating. Too many penalties.
They couldn't handle it. The charisma. He sees Cal
I was
Ripken.
too handsome to be under a helmet.
When Cal Ripken comes out for the dugout after his Iron Man game, waves the crowd. I used to do that after every down, every tackle. You got to give it to the people. Ventura called legislators gutless cowards. There you go. He met with the Dalai Lama. He asked the Dalai Lama if he'd ever seen Caddyshack. Oh, I think I got where he got all this. It's a Playboy interview that he read. Because he just says, in this interview, let's see, Jesse Ventura advocated legalizing prostitution. Correct. Blasted the obese by saying they can't push back from the table. He said that organized religion was a sham and a crutch for a weak-minded people who need strength in numbers.
Wow.
I'm listening. At any rate, Ventura's in-state approval. And then he ends with Ventura's in-state approval rating hovered around 70%.
Jesse, is it true that the communists?
There's
are
not
the
a single
only
fucking.
ones-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Jesse, is it true that the communists are the only ones to have successfully defeat fascists? Governor?
I'm listening.
But there's not a single fucking governor in the union who would say that right now.
No.
No. Very good. It's oh man, I got thoughts of my governor.
J.B. Pritzker? Or
Oh, man.
No. That would be who do you got there? You got the guy that's like a climate guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's sad that you recognize him as a climate guy.
No, like why I say like this with like
Yeah.
what is that guy's name? Who is your governor? Doesn't it start with isn't John or
It's not
he's-
Raffensperger, is it?
No,
Starts with
God, I
an
forget his
H.
name right now. It's not important, but none of them are.
You defeat
Oh,
fascism with incrementalism and conceding. You always have to concede, and you take the minor victories of.
Oh, I was thinking of Hickenlooper.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh God, no!
Yeah.
We have the pleasure of having Michael Bennett next. That's the next.
Oh, fun. So who do we got for the who are going up against the Outlaws? It's the New York, New Jersey Hitmen. It's Rusty Tillman. Beard gut, rosy cheeks, tight white flat top. Tillman says, in football, you get labeled, and it's real tough to change the image that's created. I had an image of a wild man.
I mean, isn't that kind of true across life, but especially most employment?
I mean, yeah, if you're throwing tantrums, you're going to be the tantrum guy.
Yeah.
So he wants this job. He's going to prove them all wrong. Although it's funny because they said they had like a practice game, right? Before the season started, and he was doing his bit. He's throwing water bottles, but he claims that he was just doing that for like fun, to be like as a joke.
Hmm.
And then the minute they're like, "Yeah, we want that," he's like, "I'm not doing that." Ken Chanzer of NBC says, at the first rehearsal game, the best single personality was Rusty Tillman. Vazgirzian. Oh God, this is going to be like on the level of Kieran or Gourds. Vasgersian. He's fiery. He's animated. At times, you think he's completely whacked out of his mind. Tillman trips over a camera cord. We got the Sky Cam. Who came up with that? The X Cam. It was John Gonzalez. Emmy Award-winning NBC director. He's going to be directing these games. What does he say here? Who says this? Oh, Ventura. Ventura notes during the game. You notice right away there's no sliding in the XFL. The XFL. And then Brett makes sure to note. This is where Brett starts really. What I was like, I gotta watch this first game because I'm not seeing some of this stuff that he's seeing, like where Jesse's bumping into Vesgersian, and he says Ventura says this. Well, saliva congeals at the back of his throat. What? Let's see. So Vesgersian. He's got an earpiece. Vince McMahon's shouting into it, and he's feeding Ventura lines. Oh, I didn't make no. Isn't that alone? Vince McMahon in your ear. Vince is watching a football game. That alone is funny, but like trying to kind of produce it and like talk to the announcers.
You gotta punch up the storylines.
Yeah. Is he like not satisfied, with what when somebody gets tackled? You gotta sell it.
By the way, the reason Rusty Tillman wasn't a head coach because he wasn't a very good defensive coordinator. Never fielded a top 10 defense, and in his last season as a defensive coordinator, last in the league. Worst defense in football.
No, it was his tantrums. So they've got everybody mic'd up, and they hear Ryan Clement, the quarterback for the Outlaws, correct? He says, "Solo right, 324 Dakota." Okay, great. Well, what does that mean? The announcers aren't saying anything. Brett reminisces about Joe Montana. What would this be? Super Bowl 23. Pointing to the crowd and saying, "That's John Candy." Well, now, if Frank Clement were to look out in the crowd, he would have said, "That's David Spade." Brett makes sure to note that Rod Smart is not 5'9", even though that's what the team media guide says. And that's when Vesgersian says, "What's on the back of his jersey?" "I'm not sure." They can put any name they want on the back of their jersey. So you got nicknames. You got everything out there. I know you got nicknames, Vesgersian retorted. That seems to me to be a phrase. So then there it is. He hate me. Folks, he hate me. Ventura says, "He hate me." "He hate me," says Excursion. Don't be a player hater. Who hates him? Everybody, apparently. Who? He? Oh, he.
Oh, God. We're doing who's on first here.
Listen, how long does a game go? A couple hours? Let Jesse at least go on autopilot for a couple minutes. Gotta take a breather.
Dave Meltzer hops in again to start writing the book. The Las Vegas cheerleaders hopped and twirled on the sidelines like busted pogo sticks.
Yeah. All right.
All ethnic bases were conspicuously covered, like an ABC cop drama. Ooh, Brett.
Wow.
Base Brett.
Brett, were you not a fan of the DEI? And then Brett also lets us in on his search history. They ran up a set of stairs with the camera following them like something out of a www.upskirts.com. But you also know the year it's written because he had to put in the www.
Oh man.
Gus, look it up. Is that still a website? I don't want to mess up your algorithm or anything, but can you look up if that's still a website?
Pervert.
Turn your pop-up blocker on, or turn that on.
I'll do it. Hang on.
I did right. Is this still
God damn it. I don't even feel good hitting the enter button right now.
It's Lemon Party.
It doesn't support a secure connection. That's not good. So I'm clicking off of it. Man, I remember the first vultured website was whitehouse.com.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yeah.
We were warned not to go to it in the 6th grade.
Of course, that's going to make you
Of course.
everyone probably go right to it.
What does Brett think about 2 girls, 1 cup? Jay Howarth she is a cheerleader. She's 38. She runs it. Jay Howarth runs the cheerleading. She was very loyal and protective of the cheerleaders. She had been a cheerleader for the Broncos and the 49ers. She said, she's worried about the media attacking the cheerleaders. She said, "I will not have my girls' words be mangled. I will not have my girls misquoted." In comes Brett. Well, the XFL cheerleaders embarrass themselves just fine on their own. She says that one of the cheerleaders said on CNN, "I think the XFL cheerleaders are going to start a new stereotype." Brett writes, "Or perpetuate an old one."
God.
He brings up that before the first game, the Outlaws fired one of their cheerleaders who it turned out worked as a working girl.
Come on, Vegas. You kidding me?
Wow, can't believe it. Get that out of here. No upward ladder for you. I guess would that be an upward ladder, being an XFL cheerleader? Let's see here. What do we got? What the hell are you talking about? It's talking about the players. Aldershoff and Clement grinned at each other like 4 a.m. losers. The only ones left at the bar. I have no idea what you're talking about this. Is he interviewing him? What is he doing?
Yeah, sideline reporter stuff.
Oh, sideline. Okay. Anywho, they have a sketch where what? The word penetrate hung in the air. He's.
No, I'm
sorry. Yes, this is a sketch.
It was the cheerleader asking the quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I found it here. Yes, Crystal Aldershoff. Yes, is a cheerleader. They'd run a sketch that they had made where she's asking him about football, and he says, "When the free safety slides over and my receiver gets a nice free release, which causes the defense to collapse, therefore allowing us to penetrate for the touchdown." They grin at each other like 4 a.m. losers.
Say it.
What the
word penetrate hung in the air as the telecast returned to an on-field shot.
Yeah. Brett found this to be clunky. And he says just nobody.
Worse than the flattest late 80s SNL skit.
Wow. And he says there were a lot of those segments throughout the telecast. Vince McMahon attempting to put in a little of that WWF action that he was. Those ratings dynamite. The WWF do all those great Russo sketches. Which Russo was not right. He's fired at this point. It's Goowarts all the time, baby. But who's actually responsible? Brett says it was Shane McMahon, his son. Brett kind of out of nowhere. Hold on here. There was a better sketch, Brett says. One of the outlaw cheerleaders, a redhead, by the name of Charity LaFontaine, who was the lead dancer in Midnight Fantasy, the topless review at the Luxor Hotel and Casino. It would have made for good TV. LaFontaine put on clothes to be an XFL cheerleader. Basically, Brett, I think the way I read it, Brett is like, you know who they should have made a star? That Charity LaFontaine. Keep in mind, he was living in Las Vegas at the time. I would ask him, did you visit this burlesque show often, or at the Luxor Hotel and Casino? Why is Charity LaFontaine the star in your mind?
She still works at the MGM Resorts International and corporate concierge.
There you go.
Well, never mind.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, when you're, I gotta, sometimes you look through the entire lens or a pair of glasses you've kept on for way too long, and you need to take the glasses off and just put on different pair of glasses.
Let's see, Charity. I'm gonna let you.
Everybody's a suspect. Corporate hotel work is just major suspect than, human trafficking.
Yes.
51.
Oh, yeah. And come on. A woman who runs other women. I'm not casting aspersions, of course, but yeah, I could see that being.
Why isn't Brett asking those questions? You're a journalist, or are you just,
He's too busy figuring out what the Kremlin's going to do next.
Well, you know what? Great fucking job, because, I think you're a little asleep at the wheel there, Brett.
She's dancing in the stands, Charity is. And Brett, who's just perving on her, right, while a drunk perv in a row of seats behind her howled like a lone desert species. We got her chapter title. We got Fred Rogan. He's a sideline reporter. He runs up to Rod Smart. Go, hey, he hate me on the back of his jersey. Why do you have that on your jersey? Smart says, 'cause they hate me. Look how they looking at me.
Look how they looking at me.
Vasgersian says, they hate him, body. And this is Jesse's response.
Perhaps if the young gentleman had equal access to health care, he would die.
No, it's even better. Jesse says, I'm waiting for the first one that has he likes me.
Who's the sideline reporter?
Is it Fred Rogan? It says Fred Rogan. Is it something?
Mike Adamle.
Oh, he also there as well. Yes. Adamle, yeah. Now Mike Adamle shows up, and yeah, he's going to Tillman.
Is he just the fucking dirt worst announcer, like, to hang around? Like,
what's his deal with Vince? Vince always seems to find a job for him.
Yeah, there's got to be something there. I wish I had my searchable Meltzer archive. I'm sure there's probably some hits there.
They're waiting for Tillman to do something, and Adamle's asking about the game. He's just like, "Yeah, we gotta just play better on special teams." And he's just ignoring him. He's going, "Hey, what do we got? Second down, call a timeout." Let's see. What do they hear? The referees are also wearing microphones, so this is what you get to hear with the XFL. 29 personal foul. So we're gonna go we inside the 30. We're inside the 28. So we're going to go to the 14 personal foul. Yeah, they do. Going to be personal foul, 1st and 10, number 29. Continuing action, right?
Ugh,
Can you script that?
how awful.
And Brett writes, fans had finally heard the refs, who were dimmer than anyone could have imagined. He says it wasn't the worst he'd ever heard, because at a University of Michigan game, they got to hear the ref because he hadn't turned off his mic when he makes the call. I don't know what the hell is going on out here. So John Gonzalez is shooting the cheerleaders. They're bouncing up.
Well, hang on. With all the microphones on the field, they picked up the muffled sound of huffing and puffing. The
Yes.
excursion says a lot of heavy breathing out there. Sounds like a prank call.
All right, Matt. What kind of prank calls are you making?
And it says Vince like
Yeah,
that
Vince-
kind of.
Well, McMahon is raging earpiece. Say something. This is while the cheerleaders are bouncing up and down, rubbing on each other. And this is what Matt comes up with. I feel uncomfortable. And then he goes, man alive. Alrighty then. Well, those suits are something else. He calls them suits.
And what's the simile we get here?
He
He
sounded,
sounded
like
like a fraternity pledge paddled into submission.
Yeah, I'm telling on yourself, Brett, buddy.
Hmm.
Is that what you and your buddies did after looking at upskirt.com together? Or excuse me, http
Yeah,
colon
double slash.
// www.
They don't have an extra point in the XFL. You got to do the conversion. Well, it is an extra point. You just have to convert from the 2-yard line. And they don't do it. And microphones get to hear him apologize to the guy that dropped the ball. Apologize to the quarterback. So, let's see. We go to the New York sidelines. Rusty Tillman was coaching. He's asking, can you tell when he's audibling? I can tell from the sidelines. He's talking about the quarterback. When he audibles, I want you to go to 2 because he's audibling most of the time to quick passes. You're showing it too early. So Brett's like, whoa, hey, you're hearing some actual instruction, some actual coaching going on, some actual insight. It's good stuff. Again, though, nobody's pointing it out. No one's talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse's not a football guy, and here is fast version, so it's dumb.
NBC,
Should have hired a good former quarterback. We didn't know at the time. Well, I guess we did. Come on, Sims and Boomer were on the air. They couldn't have got like a fucking scrub former quarterback. Like
You could have like Jim McMahon. Like he would have been perfect for us.
You couldn't have
Yeah.
found one ex-player that had some personality. Like, what was that
Yeah.
one guy that was on ESPN for years?
there's
He was like
there's local guys in every
Golick?
single market.
Is that
Yeah,
his name?
Mike.
Golick. Yeah,
Or Bob that was on Saved by the Bell college years.
yeah.
Former Brown.
So NBC, they keep showing David Spade in the crowd. He's pushing his latest movie, Joe Dirt.
Sat smugly in the crowd in a fog hat T-shirt.
This is the first time I wrote "Take it easy, Brett." 'Cause he just goes hard on David Spade. He's like, "Why was David?" He's trying to like do this thing where he's like, "Why is David Spade even in the crowd?" I get, just to be clear, he wasn't there because he wanted to be there. Okay, he used to work at NBC for years as an SNL cast member, and then also on Just Shoot Me. It's like, What does Brett think now when he looks out and they cut to all the celebrities in the crowd in every single game, any regular season, anything?
He thinks they're under their own volition and free will. Brett's a capitalist, and the free market, will police itself.
Even goes, Dave Spade grew up in Phoenix, so he's not even like a stranger. He's just always in Las Vegas too.
What a weirdo.
This was shabby cross-purposing. All right. And then he compares it to Jack Nicholson sitting courtside at the Lakers. Okay. He brings up that, look, the XFL teams only had 1 month to practice before the season. Rusty Tillman had hired his offensive coordinator 6 days before training camp. There's no fair catch in the XFL. Which, quote from Brett, there's about to be some ass whipping at the expense of a minimum wager.
I didn't know Mike Furry was in the XFL. Fuck yeah. He had a great NFL career. I mean, a couple of good seasons.
Vegas wideout Mike Furry had volunteered for danger duty. And then nobody really tagged. Like, what does it say here? Oh, they still had a protective halo, so everybody kind of had to wait. The halo rule undercut the whole point of the wrecking ball. Brett writes. So Fred Roggins runs up to Rod Smart again. He hate me. Wants to know about the play that they just did. He had a screen pass. Talk about the play. How do you feel? Smart looked up at the game clock, then without a word or a glance, at his, as Brett calls, beleaguered inquisitor, he sprinted back onto the field. You can hear Vesgersian giggling at his colleague's misfortune. There you go. So the sideline reporting also, it's like all this control, especially you can see Vince McMahon wanting all this control, and it's just like, so the idea is just you get these sound bites from the players, and the player can't even be bothered to say anything. He just looks at the guy and runs off. So Stone Cold Steve Austin shows up on the big screen.
Scar-browed.
Yeah, scar-browed. I hear the guy that runs the NFL, Paul Tagliabue, said that the XFL was a non-issue. A non-issue? Hell, I think that's an insult to football fans everywhere and an insult to man knocking heads on the football field. You know, Mr. Tagliabue, you might be careful, or that non-issue just might bite you on your ass. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. You're on notice. Vince is so funny. Vince is picking a fight with the NFL. Like, that's what he thinks the fans are like, yeah, us versus them. Finally, someone's telling Paul off, Commissioner Paul. And Brett says, that's interesting. You'd think that you would want the fans of the NFL to watch the XFL. No. Let's see. There we go. Fred Roggin corrals Rod Smart again. Wants to know about why can't your team score a touchdown? Well, they're giving us different looks, said Smart. So we're going to have to just come into the red zone as a team and make something happen. This is the second time it happened, but next time we're going to make something happen. And
I was going to say, what? You weren't prepared for that, but then I remembered the Patriots.
I mean, this is Brett, and I think everybody's realizing, there's not much interesting to say about this stuff. So it's a boring game, and now Ventura wants to criticize Tillman's coaching.
You should fire him.
I wonder what Tillman's plan is. He must want to wear out Vegas's offense.
It's right to work state, and he's got the right to march right out of the stadium.
Let's see. Great thing about the XFL is we have freedom of speech. Okay. Tillman is asked later what's going on. Oh, this is the halftime camera. Ooh, okay, we're finally going to get to see what they say during halftime. Okay, here we go. What are coaches saying to teams? Their team. Oh, here we go. Tillman says, "Let's get it done. They're not beating us. We're beating ourselves. Do what you're supposed to do." Okay. Yes, and Brett writes, viewers learned that in private, coaches offered the same cliches that they said in public. Several players have their heads draped in towels. They're taking deep breaths. Brett
You're
writes,
popping pills and doing steroids.
that's right. Brett writes, they were getting jacked.
Oh, are they doing smelling salts?
Guys were snorting these little capsules.
Yeah, it's just smelling salts, dogs.
One outlaw would say, you just break it and then you sniff it all in and you feel like Superman.
Are they doing poppers?
God damn it, Gus.
Yeah, they're wearing their jock straps backwards and they're doing poppers.
Yeah.
God.
God bless the players of the XFL.
Ventura says, well, we thought we'd get an explosion out of Tillman. Well, he's coaching tonight instead of yelling. He turned to John Wayne there at the end.
John Wayne was a Nazi.
But you know what? I love people are having fun.
I love rock and roll.
That's what football's all about. Fun and
You
hard.
you see my Jimi Hendrix t-shirt?
Yeah. So when he gets when Jesse Ventura drops a classic Vinceism of we're all just having fun. Brett writes, "What is this? The Pinewood Derby?" Which I got a little. Oh, Brett. Rusty Tillman. Brett writes, Rusty Tillman is being pantsed on national television. The camera gets in his face. Tillman says, "Get out of my way! Get out of my way!" Then he writes, New York was getting bageled. Okay.
That language is interesting. Unless it means they were getting shut out. Were they getting shut out?
They were.
Yeah, they were 0. Yeah, bagels 0.
Okay.
I raised an eyebrow.
Guys, sorry. I've been wearing that pair of glasses.
You could say shut out, but he said bagels.
Oh man.
So now it's time. It's 19-0. Boring game. The Outlaws will beat the Hitmen. And now it's time to go to Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross for the Enforcers and the Orlando Rage. The Chicago Enforcers and the Orlando Rage. Jerry Lawler greets the primetime network audience.
I can't wait to hear Brett's take on Jerry.
I love the XFL. I love America. He squealed over a shot of cheerleaders. It's the land of milk and honeys. There was more.
Yeah.
I got a 15-yard penalty for roughing the cheerleaders during the break.
Oof.
I like to use the terms wide receiver and tight end around cheerleaders. Hey, JR, they had backfields in motion all night. And guess who else is there at the game? It's sideline reporter Jonathan Coachman.
Disgraced former ESPN reporter Jonathan Coachman.
Who Brett writes another WWF shill. He approaches Orlando coach Galen Hall. And what does Galen do? He just turns his back and walks away. Fireworks go off out of nowhere with 1 second remaining in the game. And JR intones, "Folks, we have premature pyrotechnics."
You're giving away the finish.
You better believe that Jerry Lawler jumps in. "Story of my life!"
Oh boy.
You want to keep going? Take a break?
Yeah, take a break.
Wow, we have an in-show update. Kevin Nash has apologized. We were just talking about it. Tries to get it intellectual on us. How often have you heard the term Uncle Tom? Most likely, most likely it was used in a degrading way. Most likely, if you've actually read the literature, Uncle Tom was whipped to death for helping free 2 female slaves. Okay. I apologize for the use of the term Mr. Bojangles. It was in poor taste and obviously offensive. I just see talent being pushed in a direction that I disagree with. He should be the male version of Sol Ruca. More contemporary than urban. Yes, Sol Ruca, the skater chick. That is definitely... it's funny how I'm usually the only person who pays attention to the development of black talent. You guys are really attacking one of the allies. You know that, right? When you call him out for saying Mr. Bojangles.
I'm sorry, Kev.
He's one of the allies, and you're attacking him.
Sorry. I'll do better.
He might not even speak up for black talent the way this is going.
Oh, no.
If it's not Kevin Nash wearing a knotted FUBU, who is it? You know, it was because of the Wolfpack. You know, we were really the ones pushing West Coast rap when nobody else was. You know, you turn on the radio, it wasn't on. Wolfpack comes along. It's on mainstream television.
I pretty much made Tupac.
Who had ever even heard of Tupac before Kevin Nash?
I just remember when Nash wins the title, he gives this promo on Raw with Vince, and he compares himself to Jackie Gleason. It's like, wow.
Did Vince Russo write that? I thought you were going to say he quoted some Tupac poetry or something. Some deep cuts. Chapter 4.
How was he like Jackie Gleason?
He sent somebody to the moon?
Does he say how sweet it is? Is that
Oh
like a
my
Jackie
god,
Gleason?
what an asshole.
That could be anything. That could be how sweet it is to be loved by
That's
you.
a song by Jackie Gleason. Okay.
Oh,
See, I don't
I'm
even know
thinking of
that.
Jackie Gleason. I'm thinking of Honeymooners.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
that's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
not thinking of an 80s song. Am I wrong?
Well,
I'm losing my. Can you
first
tell
of
me
all,
I'm
that's
losing my
not the
voice?
1980s. It's not the 1980s, and it's a completely different song with the same words. That's all. Same
Okay.
title. Jackie Gleason had a song called "How Sweet It Is."
Well,
But
how's
it's
that
not
one
the
go?
I don't know, but it's not the one you were singing. That's
Well, if
like
you-
70s.
But now you got to do this. Okay, 70s, 80s, whatever, same decade. Now you got to say, I think it would go a little something like this, and then you croon like you think Jackie Gleason would do it.
See, I don't even really know Jackie Gleason that well. I never watched The Honeymooners.
I mean, he's good in The Hustler. You saw that. We watched that.
I did.
Eddie, to be loved by you. Larry's shaking his head. Okay. Vince McMahon made a sizable miscalculation. Essentially, Brett thinks that, after the game, he does a press conference, and maybe he should not have done the Mr. McMahon character. That's what Brett thinks he's doing, at least. I think Brett should be informed that this is just how Vince is with people, or with the media, at least, to the point that they just had him stop doing media after, 2002?
I guess.
When's his, because at one point that's like he doesn't enter, and then you never really hear from the guy again.
That's true.
Where are the questions? There have to be some more questions. This is it? Somebody's got a question out there, doesn't he? Come on, bring it. Bring it. And then no one is offering any questions. And he goes, "You're not going to write about it without asking anything, are you?" So finally somebody asks a question. You think there was enough sexual content during the game?
No.
I like sex. I mean, I've been married 34 years. My wife is... What a normal person. This is a totally normal answer to this. I like sex. I mean, I've been married 34 years. My wife is here. Yes, I like sex. I don't think there's ever enough sex. Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
Nope.
Brett, I did enjoy this. Brett writes the sound of cameras flashing. Chicka, chicka, chicka. He writes that out.
And the scribbling.
Yep. Furious scribbling. Chicka, chicka, chicka. So, Brett offers up the McMahon's tactic is to ratchet up the volume, sink the pit, and intimidate the intonation. Yeah, okay. And he kind of like tis or poo-poos these like, these guys are all falling for the Mr. McMahon routine. They gulped his line about sex as they had all the others with rabid little eyes, excited at the meal. Unaware that on tonight's telecast and tomorrow's paper, they would only fan the flames. Oh, don't you realize you're just giving this guy exactly the attention that he wants?
Brett knows.
Vince talks about, it was an honest game. It was, it was a real game. What do you want? It's football.
Putin's underhanded tactics were no stranger to Brett. He'd seen this before.
Yeah. I've worked the international circuit. I know what's up. Rusty Tillman is asked about the game. He's asked about Jesse Ventura tearing him down throughout the game. He laughed. So, what were the ratings for that first game? They wanted a 4.5. They told NBC, look, you're going to get like consistent 4.5s, okay? They got a 9.5.
Wow.
The first night rating was 81% of Monday Night Football's average for the 2000 season. The XFL beat Monday Night Football, the average among an important group, 18 to 30. Okay, are you all ready for ratings discourse?
Demo.
To all you suckers and losers who don't think ratings matter, well, guess what? Brett Forrester would like you to know some things. The XFL beat the Monday Night Football average in the coveted 18 to 34 demo, a 10.2 to a 9.5, and crushed ESPN's Sunday Night NFL coverage, 7.2 by 25%. Also, the first weekend of XFL games aired against the NFL's Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl earned a 4.7. It was the lowest number in 7 years. So, they want to get these numbers out. John Gonzalez goes to Leggio's restaurant in Hawthorne, New Jersey. And he orders a plate of fettuccine bolognese and another plate of chicken Milanese. Milanese.
Yeah.
He's got 2 big old plates of Italian fare. And I guess this is his reward. He's rewarding himself. Two with 2 dinners. You ever happy about something and you go reward yourself with 2 dinners?
I'm trying to look up. Is John a big guy?
John Gonzalez. Type in John Gonzalez, NBC director. See what comes up. I feel like he was on the XFL documentary.
Auto moderator on Reddit says that he is married to an NFL media broadcaster, Colleen Wolfe. Is a Pisces and resides in Los Angeles, but I don't have a picture.
We should probably watch that XFL documentary as a watch along or something.
It doesn't look like a big guy if any of these people in the images are him.
I want to type in John Gonzalez, Emmy award-winning NBC director. No, yeah, he looks a little paunchy, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, not too full meal.
If I saw him walking down the street, I would be like, that guy can absolutely house 2 full, heavy loaded pasta. You give him a chicken cutlet, and also, what was the other one?
Fettuccine bolognese.
Fettuccine bolognese, just a heaping, just lots of beefy sauce.
That's how he celebrates.
He's got a napkin tucked into his shirt. He's got his fork in one hand, knife in the other. The guy's grinding the cheese. He's not saying when. Did you see the ratings? By the way, he's wearing his XFL hat the entire time. He's not even taking his hat off. You're at the dinner table, son. Because 2 teenage waiters see him and they're like, "Hey, the XFL, yo, dude." He's got sauce all over his mouth. That's me. He thinks to himself, "My God, we've done it. We've connected. Like I'm out in public and 2 teenagers, the 18 to 34 demo, they're all jacked up. This is it. This is gonna be huge." He thinks. This is also what wrestling fans are always asking. Well, what's airing on that night? People were asking that when Impact started their new show. Well, what is AMC usually airing? What's the rating usually? Well, NBC was usually running a movie on these nights, and it was an 86% increase over what they were showing. And look, the big thing is, can they hold up against Survivor? And they did. Jeff Zucker with a very timely reference. I feel like Gloria Gaynor. I will survive.
Oh boy.
Like Perry Como.
I feel like Jackie Gleason. Well, you'll never believe it, but the lamestream media had other thoughts on the whole XFL weekend. New York Post. For however much longer the XFL lasts, there's really only one scorecard worth keeping. It's the one that notes all the sellouts who lent their names, careers, and reputations and consciences to this predictably unmitigated garbage.
You think that was Mushnick? It has to be.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Well, was it, who wrote for the Sun-Times? Was it Ebert or Siskel? I can't remember. One was for the Tribune, one was for the Sun-Times. Let's say Ebert was the Sun-Times. I have just one request for any 12 to 34 male who thinks the XFL is the future of the sport. Dude, may you rot in Vince McMahon hell.
Jeez, man, chill.
Chicago Sun-Times. The New York Times. This might have been Brett himself. Like a blight that has crept from the low-rent fringes of cable to network prime time, the XFL mingles violence, voyeurism, and even politics into one trashy Saturday night show that suggests how the lowest television culture is gaining mainstream respectability.
He works for the Wall Street Journal, I'll have you know.
Oh, I forgot.
Not
Los
the failing New York Times.
The Los Angeles Times. Now we know what the X in XFL stands for. Exceptionally exaggerated expectations, extravagantly excruciating execution.
Oh boy.
Even Hunter
Is
S.
that right?
Thompson.
Fire him.
Even Hunter S. Thompson took a crack. He was blogging on ESPN's website with Bill Simmons. We're stuck with this fraud for a while. It is a lot better than being in prison. Capital P? Did he direct quote it? Prison is capital P?
He might have.
True, Hunter. Very true. It is better than being stuck in prison. This fraud. Why didn't they send Hunter S. Thompson there live to gavort around Las Vegas? Send him into the locker room. Yeah, he sent him into the locker room. Have him sniff some poppers. Get him in there with his towel around his head, just staring at Rod Smart's junk dangling at the floor. Oh,
we need Vince and Hunter shooting guns.
Just Hunter S. Thompson screaming his head off as he dips into some kind of crash out while he's staring at Rod Smart. Ah!
Firing a gun into the ceiling of the locker room.
Yeah. Hunter S. Thompson interviewing Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon would be like doing that thing where he kind of pulls back.
Vince would have no idea what to make of it.
I know, good. Trailer parks. Whoa. They would talk about sex, right? Maybe they could get on that level, maybe? Like a roll in the hay with a good woman or something?
No, just cream for me. That's plenty fun.
Ken Shanzer had won his bet with Basil DeVito. DeVito now had to buy a Kentucky Derby features ticket on the horse Monarchos for Shanzer. At first, yes, you're right. I did read that as that's the horse's name, Monarchos for Shanzer. What? No, the horse's name was Monarchos. Okay. Oh, and so, DeVito heads over to Las Vegas helping to do that. But something doesn't sit right with everybody. Shanzer lit a cigar. This guy's such a dip. He's got a faux antique two-handed gas lamp contraption. That writes on his desk. So he's an idiot. I don't want to be mean, but this guy's an idiot. I'm judging him for having this two-handed gas lamp, fake antique on and he's lighting a cigar with it. His cigar keeps going out, which that also adds to just the lameness of it all. So he has to keep relighting it as he's talking to Brett here. His thoughts turn sour. Essentially, this is what's happened. They looked at the ratings, and the average was 9.5, but it started at 11.7, and it just keeps dropping and dropping throughout the game. By the end of the game, it was at an 8. And so they're like, uh-oh, people tuned in, and then we're like, nope. And then more were like, nope. So let's go over to 30 Rock. Lorne Michaels He's like, ooh, what a lead in. 9.5. I like that. He's thinking about Jennifer Lopez. She's gonna host soon. Yeah, all of a sudden Brett starts like outlining where J-Lo's career was at. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? he's writing about the wedding planner, her platinum debut album. Let's see, SNL is shaping up to be a perfectly timed bonanza.
Doesn't I don't want to spoil it. Doesn't the game go long and push SNL back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, he brings up Brett will like when Brett starts dabbling in SNL stuff, he brings up like Mina Savari, and he's like, Mina Savari got an 8.6. She wasn't even a star. And it's like, brother, she had been, this is 2001-ish or whatever. Yeah. She's relevant, okay? American Beauty was what, 99? Okay,
and
yeah,
American Pie.
Yes, and she's in American Pie. And I think American Pie 2 had just come out. And she was also, I think it was the Woody Allen's, look, it wasn't a huge hit or anything. It was still a Woody Allen movie with Jason Biggs and Luther. Look, Mina Savari was a thing at that time. Please. Now look at SNL ratings. I ask you. What's Ryan Gosling going to get on March 4th?
The unfunny.
Hey, look, the SNL heads are gassed. Ryan Gosling, those episodes are well regarded. I'm just saying what the fandom is. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying. They like it when Ryan Gosling laughs at himself. They love it.
We were just outside. I'm not letting you back outside.
I have this conversation with my dog all the time. It's like they're bored. Okay. What did I write here? Oh. Yeah. He just starts talking about like XFL, SNL, pairing it, and I was like really getting in my head about what was the plan here to get people watching the XFL to tune in to a comedy show where it's like mainstream people.
He's overplaying.
Yeah. Typically SNL's watching like comedy nerds or that like want to like know what's going on in like mainstream comedy or what will happen. And then like my dad, if like somebody worthwhile, you know what I mean? It's like if the news, their ratings kind of correlate to elections and world events. People still, for whatever reason, are like, what's SNL gonna do? I think that's starting to die off. Yeah. There's only so many times you can be like, Donald Trump, look, this guy's crazy. Do you remember Alec Baldwin's Donald Trump impersonation? That was good.
You didn't think it was?
No, I didn't think it was. You know who I thought I was?
I think it works for being over the top.
I know. I am always a fan of. He had a show on Comedy Central for a while. The guy that had the Trump show. What was that guy's name?
No.
Yeah, that guy was good.
Remember That's My Bush?
Yeah, I do. That show was also good.
I swear to God.
I'm so mad at myself that I can't remember this guy's name because he's actually a funny guy. And he does this great... He did this great bit. Anthony... I'm going to ruin this guy's last name. Atamanuik. He did this great bit where he did at the time, Trump had done the thing where he was honking the trunk horn and being like, look at the I'm driving the truck. He took that and he recreated, but then he started just libbing. He started spiraling, like having ego death. And he's talking.
I remember that bit.
That's so good. It was so good. He's like, mother. They should have gotten that guy. Anyways, no, but do you remember Kate McKinnon and Alec Baldwin running around Times Square and hugging each other and going, whoever wins, just remember to love each other. And then Kate McKinnon did Hallelujah the next week.
Yes, we all remember how bad that was.
Oh, God. Remember when they sang to Barack Obama leaving office?
That I don't know, because I don't...
They did that too. They had a few of the gals come out and they sang, what was it? Some fucking song. Colin will remember or look it up. So they're worried about. So there was some time when Monday Night Football went long and they cut off the game, and then like it aired. Like they just put the score on the ticker like a half hour later, like, oh, by the way, the Raiders won or whatever. This is more Johnny Carson was like, no one ever preempts me. You got it? Well, they're not going to do that again. So Dick Ebersol personally promised Lorne Michaels XFL would never delay SNL. This is where he says Mina Sabori had scored an 8.3 rating. Yeah. And Lauren is thinking, my God, what's J-Lo gonna do? Picture this: a hot breeze twirled a leftover beer cup across the parking lot at Sam Boyd Stadium. A massive scoreboard casting a long shadow against the blacktop. Anyways, they're practicing. Everyone is interested in Rod Smart. Trey Fitzgerald, the team's PR man, is taking phone calls. Everyone wants a piece of He Hate Me. One of the players is like, they're going to film a Denzel Washington movie here in Las Vegas. I'm going to get in there through the XFL. I'm going to be a gangster in that movie, I bet. For some reason, some people's model airplanes have set up camp nearby, and they're flying model airplanes over the practice field.
Fun.
Outlaws head coach Jim Kreiner is like, the hell? Here we go. Here's Brett again. Jim Kreiner was twisted tight as a cornrow. What?
Excuse me,
Brett? Kreiner resembled a 1940s film noir bagman who doesn't make it to the end of the picture. Okay.
Mr. 50s.
Jim Kreiner resembled Drake Wirtz.
You gotta get that chant going, Mr. 50s.
Okay,
No, you gotta chant Mr. 30s.
I gotta
think
well, you know what I gotta do? I gotta have to write down my chants. So I'll write some this week, like Gus's neighbor at his show, who had written down chants. You said,
Yes.
Who was the guy that kept bothering you? What was he saying, or what was the guy near you
He was
saying?
just like, gay, suck his dick, gay, like, just not being clever.
Larry, you should find a guy near you and be like nudging him, going, "That guy should suck his dick."
By the way, I've got a stand-up comedy show down in Chatter.
Larry, tell everybody around you, I'm a stand-up comedian. Also, this guy should suck his dick. Hopefully, if it's Mosh Pit Mike and what is it, Pondo? What's the Mondo?
Yes.
If it's Mondo, Matt,
Pondo. It's Pondo.
Pondo and Mosh Pit, you just nudging the guy and go, "What if they sucked each other's dicks?"
Well, the new angle I forgot is Mickey Knuckles kissing Vito and him not liking it.
Oh, because she's not his type.
Gross.
Let's say that. Yeah, she's gross.
That's not me saying that. That's how it's played.
That's Vito. What did he gag?
Yeah, he does a spit take when it happens.
Why is she into Vito?
They did work for him or something, or he did something she liked and she's paying him back. Or he's got to pay her back, I think, with his with his body.
I'm going to tweet Vito because now that he replied, I know he replies to anybody. I'm going to tweet at him. Have you ever sat down and had a plate of fettuccine bolognese and chicken bolognese at the same time? Asking for a friend. I had a friend once celebrate by eating 2 of these things. Would you?
So Kreiner was tight as a cornrow.
Yeah. We get his career. He's assistant coach at BYU, Cal, Utah, and UCLA. He got his first head coaching job in 1976 for Boise State. Then he was with Iowa State. And then things take a turn. With a few games left in the 1986 season for Iowa State, the NCAA accused Kreiner and his staff of providing loans. Guys, strap in, you'll never believe this. Providing loans, rent money, and cash payments to their players and recruits.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it happened, allegedly. Iowa State fired Kreiner. He maintained his innocence. For 5 years, Kreiner fished. This is just one singular sentence. In a pond in Montana. You think he came across Eric Bischoff at any point? Not a lot of people up there. Oh yeah, that's why. Is that Wyoming?
Yeah.
Okay. I've thought about moving to Montana. I don't know why.
I was disappointed. My grandfather lived in Montana where he raised dogs, and small part of me was hoping maybe some inheritance, the land.
I get the ranch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he took out a reverse mortgage before he died.
God damn it.
Whoops.
Got
He coached again. He was the head coach of the Scottish Claymores of the NFL Europe. Yep, that was their name. Drew McIntyre. That's interesting. Claymore. So now the Outlaws are going to face the Memphis Maniacs with an X. Ugh. As the Outlaws are going through the airport, there's the University of Texas women's track team. And they see old Rod Smart. He hate me. Rod, we don't hate you. We love you. And of course, as is with Rod Smart, the group of women follow him throughout the airport. So let's see. The Outlaws are playing on UPN. The NBC show is going to be Los Angeles versus Chicago. It's going to be the first Los Angeles game, correct? Or first one in Los Angeles since the 94 NFL season. So you would think, hey, Los Angeles is hungry for some football. It's been a minute. So McMahon is booted as Gershon to NBC's the second telecast. Now Jim Ross is in the big seat. It's going to be Ventura and Ross. The Rock is there in LA at the LA Coliseum. He's mocking the NFL suits who fled Los Angeles 6 years before.
Ugh.
And he thinks that, you take those suitcases, they're leaving with suitcases. I guess they packed up, You take those suitcases, turn them sideways, and stick them straight up your candy ass. There you go. What else does the Los Angeles Stadium have here?
Well, hang on. When the fans cheered, it was less for The Rock's sentiment than for his third-tier cuss.
Yes, third-tier cuss. What's a first-tier cuss?
It's the F word. It's got to be.
Yeah, fuck. You have a hot tub at the stadium with full beach regalia, Brett writes. Sand, a lifeguard stand, a silk screened mural. Silk screened?
That looks like a Dick Dale album cover.
3 women in bikinis splash around in the tubs. They were not extreme cheerleaders, okay? Those were elsewhere. They're wearing chainmail.
They looked of the rented variety.
Yeah, that's what Brett writes. And then he writes, these women, in fact, stripped at the Spearmint Rhino on East Olympic Boulevard.
Why do we live in a society where a woman has to have 2 jobs to support herself, Brett?
Not if Jesse was in charge.
Well, something happens. We're 13 minutes in the game. The TV screen goes black. The game. There's no game. John Gonzalez, belly full of 2 Italian dishes, is panicking. He'd gone through this before during the coverage. What he says here. He says where he did. This has happened to him before. I can't remember.
No, it just says he'd worked for the Olympics and he was a veteran.
I thought it said that he had this, and so he would do. He had a fix.
Oh,
Let's see. It was the Orange Bowl. Years before,
Okay.
while directing the Orange Bowl, he'd watched images similarly disappear from his monitors. It was a corroded power switch, and so then he was like, from now on, outside power generators that NBC brings, right? And then there's always a backup power generators. Well, what had happened here? Because he's like, what? We have the generators? It couldn't be anything. What's going on? Somebody forgot to top off the generators. Whoops.
oh, gee.
Come on. That sounds like a saboteur.
Jesse Ventura here.
Tagliabue hired some.
Yeah, exactly.
The gas.
Yeah, that Stone Cold promo didn't go over so hot. Calling in. Now, when you go in there with your XFL hat and jumpsuit, when they tell you to fill up you don't. He's laughing when it goes black. Well, they got dead air for 13 minutes. Where do you go? You go to Orlando and San Francisco, where you got Vaz Gershon and Jerry the King Lawler.
Oof.
Yep. Brett notes his adolescent squeals. I'd love turning into football to hear a guy like, I can't even do. I'm losing my voice. I can't even do the squeals. I'm horny. I'm so horny. Can you believe that guy got paid for years to scream about how horned up he was? That's crazy. So the main game had been down for more than 27 minutes. There had been 3 touchdowns in that time.
I'm really creeped out, and I used to look at him a few times. Okay, I'll tell him myself. His like photography thing with the cat. He used to put photos on his website. And
Great lighting in those photos. Just the dim light of being inside a room with no windows.
It's weird in retrospect. That's all.
You always got to get your love in a room with no windows and a regular ass bulb, and just with the flash on, you just take those pictures. Very sexy, professional.
Woohoo!
Octavius Bishop, a 330-pound tackle, breaks his left leg. So there's another delay of game. Yes, Brett does note that the women in the hot tub are groping themselves in lesbian pantomime.
Hmm.
What is lesbian pantomime? Are they giving each other the claw? What's happening? Fans are growing restless. They start throwing food at one another. Then they start throwing. Brett claims they start throwing beer bottles at each other. One fan, a 46-year-old paraplegic who had brought his nephews to the game, got caught in the crossfire. He gets some fans get pushed. He ends up down. He's down. He's down and out. He falls headfirst into a concrete walkway 6 feet below him. He's laying in a puddle of his own blood. Paramedics finally reach him. The newspapers report on it. The newspapers blame McMahon, because he wants violence in these. He keeps talking about panty waist and sissies. And Brett says this, but could you really blame him for the? But could you really blame him for the drunken actions of a few unfortunates who were unable to grip the lowest rung of the evolutionary ladder? Wow.
Man, this guy.
Some people are always looking for a reason to act out. I'll keep reading. It's funny. And if McMahon was responsible for this ugly peek at anarchy, then what of the NFL? And he brings up the Eagles and the Giants. Oh, and then he does, if you've ever seen an Eagles and Giants game at Veterans Stadium at the 700 level, you've surely witnessed the combustive force of MGD and ennui.
I was trying to look at where our guy went to college. I don't remember. But in his bio here on his website, an article of Brett's about match fixing in international soccer inspired an episode of The Simpsons in which Homer, as a World Cup referee, faces a moral quandary.
Oh, I watched that.
Never saw that one.
Brett get a cameo? Cut
That's
to...
gotta be a new shitty one.
Yeah, and when the World Cup was somewhat relevant in the culture.
Nothing past season 10 in this house.
Yeah, it's about the same.
The current fandom would tell you that it's hit or miss. So there's some good ones that have come out in the later years.
I don't want to see.
You just got to watch all 300-400 of the other ones. They're on episode 800. It's time to start binging, Larry.
I don't want to see the kids with cell phones. I don't know. It's weird.
Do you find it weird? Because this has been addressed in many articles, is that, they'll do flashback episodes now and they just, now Homer's just born in the 90s.
No.
That's what they do. So now, I know all the references are, he's not from the 70s, he's from the 90s, They make jokes about that. We cut to 30 Rock. Lorne Michaels fights hard to maintain his studied schoolboy air. I think shots fired at Lorne Michaels. Yes, he does like to have a little bit of a faux, I read that Lorne biography, and it was kind of about how he was kind of, he wasn't completely a family of wealth, but he would definitely hang out with the wealthy family down the street, that he had friends with. So he seemed like he always had these, yes, he has this air about him of somebody once talked about this, that Lorne, you think, Lorne has all these inns to New York, the best restaurants, the best places to go, the clubs. And he goes to 3 places and just all the time. So if he's I'm going to take you to dinner, you already know where it's always going to be the same place. You hear Maddox venting on the sideline. Tommy Maddox, LA's quarterback, former UCLA star. He watches the kicker miss a field goal. If he can't make it, let's don't kick it. They go into overtime. Apparently it was made known that Lorne Michaels loses his temper, and he calls the network to threaten to scrap the whole show and air a rerun. They tape the dress rehearsal, and other times Lorne has just aired the dress rehearsal, I think on 1 or 2 occasions, that for whatever reason. It's very rare, but I don't know about scrapping the whole show and airing a rerun.
I think that's more to send the message of "fuck you" if this is not going to become a regular thing. These are the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
Oh, they talk about the Heidi game, the Raiders New York Jets. Again, they bring this up again when
famous game.
The NBC did not. They just cut the game off. Went to Heidi, a kids movie about an irresistible Swiss girl. And then 20 minutes after the game, they said, "Hey, by the way, the Raiders came back and scored two touchdowns in 9 seconds, 43-32." Lorne Michaels, it's 11:30 in New York, or 11:25, 5 minutes before it needs to go on the air. Lorne Michaels says, "Let's just go with the show. We'll tape it to air, and then we'll air it as we go." The cold open, which I could not find on. I'm sure I could find it given enough time.
I remember it.
You remember the cold open?
Yeah.
Is Will Ferrell is wanting to help Jennifer Lopez in her dressing room. He wants to ogle her butt. Is this the episode where she wears her... Yeah.
What? No, I don't think it's that one.
He writes it. Will Ferrell traded lines in the show's opening skit. It's called The Cold Open. I'm sorry, it's not the opening skit. It's called The Cold Open.
Yes. But the premise involved what else? Lopez's infamous hindquarters.
Yes. Yes, he wants to look at her butt. I was going to say, is this the one where she wears the Emmy dress in her monologue? She's hosted multiple times.
I don't think it was, but I could be wrong. Yeah. I could be.
So the capper on the cold open is Michaels fires Will Ferrell for being a creep and says, "This is NBC. We can't have people running around here like it's the XFL."
Ooh.
Which I feel like would have been a quick add-on. I don't know. Is that really the line that they had out of the gate? I don't think so. These guys are writing to the last minute. That's a shot at the NFL. I think that's an added line. They could have been anything.
You don't think it was just in the news that week? I mean, we read all those fucking newspaper articles.
It could have been. It could have been on my. It could have been already.
What's the joke if it's not the XFL?
This isn't Fox.
It's not the Oval Office. I don't know.
Let's picture Lorne Michaels saying, "This isn't Fox. This isn't the Oval Office. This isn't."
I don't know what would have been hip at the time.
Yeah, what's the trashy show at the time? This isn't Mad TV.
Yeah.
They finally did. Finally, LA won 39-32, and the show goes on the air. SNL starts 42 minutes late. And I was trying to remember, and I was like, my mind was telling me, I think you watched that XFL game, and you were like, well, I already watched SNL. I'm staying up. This will be interesting, not knowing that they had taped. thinking, oh, they're just going to go live. They're all going to be tired. Clement injures himself, the quarterback. Let's see, it doesn't matter. So I don't know why it was on my call. I'm Tim Hornbaker. I'm underlining details.
Come on, get past all this.
Lopez scored a 6 rating. This was not how it was supposed to go down. Mina Savari had managed an 8.3 a few weeks before. She was barely a star. That's where I was like, come on, Brett. Let's see. Didn't he say The Rock did like an 8.6? I think that's just where SNL was at the time. Like they were.
Well, he says The Rock's reruns at a 7.4.
So they're just in that air. Like, okay, so yeah, 6 because of the time slot. It's not a big thing. It ran.
But J-Lo's a bigger star than those two. I will say.
J-Lo's fans are not staying up almost an hour late.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Only me to see her butt is staying up that late. Let's see. XFL's Game 2 earns at 4.6. Whoop, 52% fall. 18 to 34, 60% drop off. Males 12 to 24, 70% drop. Now, Vince McMahon his spin is this. Yes, but usually in that time slot, right? It went from a 4.9 to a 6.6. That's a 34% increase, right? And Brett hits Vince with and Al Gore invented the internet.
Well, no. You're not explaining it right.
What?
The ratings went up because people thought SNL would be on. But Vince is spinning it saying that it was the game's exciting finish that made everyone start watching spontaneously at 11:30 p.m.
I don't think I am reading wrong. Vince McMahon. The numbers showed that at 11:30 SNL's scheduled start time, NBC's ratings swelled from a 4.9 to a 6.6.
Right.
XFL interested claiming responsibility for the 11:30 rating spike. Yeah, for the game's exciting finish. I mean, people aren't tuning in for SNL. It's just higher than what they usually do.
What are you talking about?
I think the XFL was doing better than. I think I'm buying Vince's line.
Stop. That's not the point. The point was Vince's ratings jumped because people thought SNL would be on.
For J-Lo.
And Vince is spinning it that the game was just so exciting that the rating jumped at 11.
You don't think that's true?
That's why he gives the glib Al Gore joke.
Well, and Al Gore did invent the internet. I don't understand what the problem is. Brett doesn't know what happened 25 years after when we found out that that's true.
You don't think 2 million people called their friends and said, you got to put this fucking XFL game on? Tommy Maddox is driving.
Ryan Clement is hurt. Cowley is in. You're saying 34% increase just to see Jennifer Lopez's butt?
Yeah, man, different times.
Well, just to see SNL. You made that point yourself. That's just SNL's base.
Yeah, I was there.
So it's anybody.
Probably.
It's just expecting something to be on at a time it's usually on.
But now they turn to USA and they don't see Raw. And you got 3 million global viewers.
And now the Big Bang Theory gets 5 times the viewers of Dynamite, right? Isn't that what the haters tell me?
It's true. Let's see. Lorne Michaels, his temper tantrum gets put into the press. You know, people are going, what happened? Chicago, Los Angeles? Babes in hot tub? Well, John Gonzalez. I like John. He pulls a Vince Russo and he asks his 2 young sons, what did you do when you saw the blackout? Well, we switched the channel, Dad, to MTV.
Kids in that damn MTV.
Brett writes, and their father had been the director. Like, as if they were like, you better watch this. Sons, I'm directing this. It matters. Brett thinks now with the media and overdrive here that disliking the XFL became cool. Los Angeles Times, XFL a problem child. New York Post, it's getting late early for fat-feeding XFL. Hollywood Reporter, NBC takes a sack. Ken Shamser about Lorne Michaels being upset. Was he angry? I think he got over it. Meanwhile, Ebersol is there with Lorne. These are all the concessions that Ebersol is going to make. XFL games will kick off 5 minutes earlier. There's not going to be any more first-person on-field player intros. The game clock will begin running from the moment an official spots the ball, even if the previous play had gone out of bounds or fallen incomplete. It's going to just... Ebersol also promised to shave 5 minutes off the halftime break. They go to... let's see. Who says this? Basil DeVito. What do you think of all these tweaks? Well, we would have wanted to tweak it after a week or two, no matter what. That's just how Vince is. He's never satisfied. Always wants to make it better. And it's pretty damning to go like, they don't have any like this thing was it either succeeds right away, or we're done with it. There was no opportunity for growth or to like level out or.
Yeah, there's no long-term growth strategy or plan.
No, immediately they're like tweaking it so that SNL. I get that SNL at this time is. I mean, it again, like I said, the election stuff. 2000 was a huge year for them.
Yeah.
You got Will Ferrell, strategery.
Lockbox.
You know, they get another big. They get another big one from the. Everyone's tuning in. We be funny again.
Janet still doing anything for the populace?
Yeah, Giuliani, America's mayor. Dressing in drag with Trump. Married his cousin. Cool. Dave Meltzer hops in to end the chapter.
You know what's really dirty? I don't know if it still is, but this was just like a week ago. Giuliani's Wikipedia photo is the hair dye one. They're really doing him dirty there.
I mean, none of these people, and I think Gus would agree, a lot of these people should never know peace, right?
Correct. Never, ever. Not a second, not a minute, not them, not any of their kin.
When you hear that Greg Bovino is trying to drink himself into oblivion in Las Vegas and he gets kicked out of a bar, it's like, I hope this is the rest of your life. You know, these ICE agents that are in the hotel and they're like, they have to order and they're just buying Campbell's soup because they think all their food is being messed with, they assume.
Oh, okay.
Because people know where the hotel is. The poor people just staying there, and then they order some food, and so he's like, probably an ICE agent's ordering this. Some poor guy there for a business conference eating spit and piss.
Oh, jeez.
Meltzer jumps in to end the chapter. During the week leading up to Game 3, the term XFL plummeted from 5th most popular search item on Lycos to number 25.
What about tripod?
Calling up Herb in the Valley.
Lycos. Where was that? 25th on the Lycos search list. Just behind the Bible at 24 and just ahead of marijuana at 26. I wrote, what were people okay? What was
Honestly,
happening?
that's a regular search for me in 2026. XFL, the Bible, marijuana.
And the XFL. Because of the book. The Bible and marijuana. Who's Googling just, I guess, Lycosing? Who's Lycosing the Bible?
I've been
seen
there, man. You've
marijuana.
never been there? You've never been there?
The Bible.
Yeah.
I read it. I got it. Marijuana.
I get in a
don't think
loop sometimes.
I've never either also searched just the term marijuana. It was too. You know what? Or probably early on, you're getting a lot of just people just what's on the internet about this. Is there a marijuana.com? A www?
Well, it was before ads were up your butt with everything. You actually get interesting content back.
Dude, the sites you could find back in the day that were personally handmade by somebody with an interest, with a passion. You've been to upskirts.com. Now it's time to go check out marijuana.com.
Well, I remember on YouTube, not YouTube, Yahoo. I'm sorry, Yahoo. You had to like submit your website and wait like a week to see if they would let it be in the reason for, and you had to say what category it was supposed to be in.
Because a human would go in like,
yeah.
Make a
So to
website
get my
for
backyard wrestling website listed, I had to jump through hoops.
God, did you have the counter?
And then watch that.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, and then you watch that counter at the bottom and see if it makes a
baby.
difference.
Man, it was a simple time. It's so funny now. People are so as having a everyone quote unquote is themselves online. Remember, you never reveal anything about yourself online, never.
Yeah.
And now it's just like no, you're online. You're available. You just say who you are, man, woman, or child.
here's my thoughts on capitalism because I'm a bootlicking Barney.
Wait, is this your new website?
LinkedIn, man.
LinkedIn, right? Okay, I thought maybe you're starting a new Angel Fire or something.
No.
I love capitalism. Don't clip that, Colin. Is that it?
Yeah, I'm tired. I've had enough of Brett's hating. But I'm looking forward to the crash.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of table setting. It's almost if I wanted to say, Brett, look, I know there's not a lot of meat on the bone of the crash. I know you got to kind of set the table a little bit. Holy mackerel. He devoted 50 pages to the first game. That's a lot of pages for one game. And again, you can tell it's his first book too. He's trying. He wants to make a good first impression for the high-minded people at the Wall Street Journal. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.